This is Steve Robbins. Welcome to the Get It Done Guys quick and dirty tips to work less and do more. There's a lot to do at Green Growing Things plant store. They recently acquired 1-800-GOT-GREEN, and the integration team is in full swing. Melvin is running things, and he's on top of, well, everything. Put the Odd V2s right next to the lilacs. Venus flytraps, put them in the break room for now. Eventually they'll... Wait, what do you mean the cash registers have incompatible payment systems? I'll read up on both tonight and decide which... Hey, watch it! Oh, and where's Fluffy? Has anyone seen Fluffy? It sounds like someone's just a teensy-weensy bit in over his head. And if we listen carefully, part of the problem is that he's simply trying to do too much at once. Let's help him sort it all out. 1. He's trying to make a plan to physically merge the inventories, and when the inventories contain carnivorous plants, that turns out to be especially important. 2. He needs to understand what's incompatible about the payment systems and figure out what to do about it. Money is the lifeblood of a company, and without it, the Audrey 2s won't be long for this world. And 3. The plant store cat, Fluffy, needs to be located, or, given the tufts of fur next to the Audrey 2 pens, perhaps replaced. Multitasking doesn't work. Here in the 21st century, we're taught to deal with everything by multitasking, which has already been shown to cause your brain to melt. This is extremely bad news for zombies, since melted brains are not nearly as tasty and nutritious as normal brains. You'll appreciate how bad it's getting when I tell you that some zombies are actually switching to steel-cut oatmeal. Now, usually by multitasking, we mean simultaneous split attention, which is a fancy way of saying paying attention to two things at once. Like when you're reading an article on your phone, responding to an incoming text message, watching Netflix, and writing an email message all at once. In this case, you're trying to pay attention to several things at once. But there's another kind of multitasking, and that's taking on too many different cognitive tasks at once. Each task is big enough that it requires real attention. And even though you're only paying attention to one task at a time, you're switching so rapidly and randomly that your brain just can't get a hold of the context that you need. Because brains need focus. Your brain is a powerful and mysterious creature capable of subtle world-changing things, kind of like Kim Kardashian. But it needs time. Solving big problems like merging the inventories really require you to stick with the problem long enough that your brain can gather and connect all of the relevant information. And then it needs time to ponder and daydream, and then and only then, after time spent doing hidden and mysterious things, will the answer appear, as if by magic. Unfortunately, if you're Melvin, switching back and forth between tasks so rapidly and randomly, you'll have two problems. First, your brain will start mixing up which things belong to which problems. Is the leather harness and leash for Fluffy, or for the Audrey 2s? Or maybe for the new marketing director? It's confusing. And second, your brain never gets to stay in one mode long enough for all of those magical, slow-cooking processes to work. Instead of finding a solution that's as elegant as a 19-course gourmet dinner paired with wine, you find a solution that's more like microwave nachos during a Super Bowl commercial. Yay, Velveeta, when real cheese just won't cut it. A better solution is to schedule per project days. Yes, schedule an entire day to devote to a single project. Your brain can get in the groove, you can gather your mental resources, and really dig into that project. Do your best to keep this day filled only with things related to that project. All meetings, project-related. The only email that you'll answer is email related to that project, and your reading, only reading related to the project. Now, yeah, I'm exaggerating just a little bit. You can take breaks and daydream and do some mindless administrative tasks. After all, that's when your brain works its Kim Kardashian problem-solving magic. But give your brain the luxury of staying mainly on one thing. Melvin can declare a rearrange store inventory day where he can really dig down deep and get to the roots of the issue. Once he's made the plan, he can pass it off to the rest of the staff to implement, but in order to make good decisions, he needs to be able to identify and consider everything that's relevant at a leisurely pace. You can use a meta project day to resolve conflicts, because there are people who are waiting for the new org chart. While Melvin is busy doing his inventory planning day, are they just twiddling their thumbs? Well, to some extent, maybe, and that might be just fine. While we have an irrational belief that everyone should be working all the time, that just isn't true. If the inventory plan is the current bottleneck of the business, then giving it a devoted day may be very, very wise indeed. And if you want details about that, check out something called The Theory of Constraints in the book The Goal by the late Eliyahu Goldratt. I'm not sure that's how you pronounce his name, but let's hope. So let's go with the irrational bad myth that everyone should be working overtime every day because that's what the American dream has decayed into and your boss almost certainly believes that. And instead add a special project day. It's a meta project day. Here, the project is coordinating. You make sure that people who need you can proceed without you on the days that you won't be working on their project. Plus, if any of them are doing project days, the same way that you are, you arrange to have stuff to do on days when they aren't working on your shared projects. So then, after the meta project meeting, everyone can go back and get to work with their dedicated project days. Now, a full devoted project day might seem like an awful lot of time in the modern world to devote to one thing, and it is in the modern world. Depending on the work involved, declaring half days might work. Now, personally, I find anything less than 4 hours of per project time to not be enough. My brain just can't really get in the groove. And having a project day be a full working day does let me get the benefit of sleeping on it overnight, the night before and the night after. In the end, Melvin declares a half day for his meta project day. Everyone coordinates so no one will be stalled, and then he declares tomorrow as his payment system project day, since that's the most urgent and important task that's really the bottleneck to the entire business. The next day will be physically merging inventory. And then the day after that, assuming that there's no unfortunate evidence found on day 2, is going to be a hunt for Fluffy day. Give your brain a rest. Divide your week into full-on project days when you can concentrate wholly and fully on a single project each day. If you get done early, sure, you can go on to other things, but be prepared to let yourself get immersed in one single deep focus activity. I'm Steve Robbins. Follow Get It Done Guy on Twitter and Facebook. I run programs to help people develop the kick-ass business skills they need to create an extraordinary life. If you want to know more, visit steverobbins.com or join my personal mailing list by texting Get It Done to 33444. And that way you'll also get a free copy of my secret book chapter on how to build relationships that help you succeed. Work less, do more, and have a great life.